Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Let this video serve as a PSA, a public service announcement, because as we get closer and closer to the end of this market cycle and crypto, including XRP, becomes worth more and more, you are going to see increased efforts from scammers to steal it from you. And there are absolutely people that are losing the entirety of their XRP holdings. In fact, so I'm going to share with you a few things in this video, all on the same topic here. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, he puts out a warning. Just days prior to that, David Schwartz was issuing a warning about a deep fake having to do with XRP, a separate XRP scam. And then just a couple days ago, an XRP community member shared just this gut-wrenching post. It's just awful. It's just a couple days or so ago. This guy, who's been holding XRP for years and years and years, he got scammed and he literally lost all of his XRP. I just can't help but feel for people when this happens to them. It's just disgusting. And so, like, this can happen to anyone. Like, you have to be aware of the types of tactics that occur, and I'm hoping that just listening to this video could help you, help you be aware if somebody is actually trying to come after your XRP. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say are right. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And by the way, I'll mention this before getting into some of these specific stories here. Like, I have the scammers come after me. And I'm sure this is true for many of you listening. How many of you out there have gotten a text message from, it could be any, they could be alleging to be Coinbase or any reputable exchange out there. Or you get emails from them, from just fake emails, they pretend to be Coinbase or Crack or whatever it may be. I get those. And you know the types of messages you get, and there's a sense of urgency in them. And by the way, if there's a sense of urgency in any alarming email or text or whatever you get, just as a starting point, be very skeptical. Assume that until proven otherwise, it's a scam. Because that's a tactic they use, a sense of urgency to get you all flustered and bothered and you make mistakes because you can't think clearly. That's a tactic, folks. And so I've gotten texts and emails from scammers alleging to be Coinbase, and they're saying, hey, a bunch of your holdings from, I'm paraphrasing, but a bunch of your holdings from Coinbase are being moved. And then I just laugh because I'm like, I use cold storage, but still, I'm just like, you freaking idiots. But they're getting a certain success rate, or they wouldn't be doing this stuff. They're talking to, and then I get messages about accounts being hijacked by other devices, this and that, just to alarm me. And then they want you to contact them. Then there's a whole thing where they're going to try and coerce you into handing over private information. Sometimes they're trying to get private keys. Never give private keys to anybody. Don't type them into anywhere. There are phishing attacks where you think that you're clicking on a legitimate link. It looks like you're logging into a Coinbase or whatever site, but then it's actually some scammer that's running a website that just looks like that. There's all sorts of approaches like these. And you can fall, if you're not consistently vigilant, you can fall for it. And look, I'll tell you this, like, I believe that anybody can be tricked. I don't think I'm above this. I'm not a gullible person. I'm speaking too fast. I'm not a gullible person, but I do believe that under the right circumstances, I can be tricked. Of course I can. I think anybody can. And that's why, like, if you're the type of person where you see these bad things happen to somebody like this poor guy, I'll show you a story later, where he's just, you could tell he's distraught over this, and as I would be too, because he's lost a substantial portion of his net worth. It's just emotionally devastating. Anybody that looks at a story like that and is like, well, the idiot deserved it then. If you're stupid enough to fall for that, then you deserved it. If that's your attitude, like, I despise you on a personal level and I'm disgusted and we cannot be friends. How can you lack empathy? What, you can't be tricked? You're above that. You can't be tricked. It's impossible. You're the one human on the planet. You can't be tricked under any circumstance in any number of topics. It's impossible. You can't be tricked. You can't be scammed. Is that right? You jacket. Like, I see some of that. It makes my blood boil. Where's your freaking empathy for these people, So I hope you're not like that. It's a small percentage of people that are like that, but man, that really grinds my gears. You know what I'm saying here? And so here's a headline from July 18th from Coin Central. Ripple CTO reveals deepfake fraud targeting XRP investors on X. A new scam has emerged on X where a deepfake video falsely claims Ripple is launching a 100 million XRP rewards program. The video, featuring a manipulated version of Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, falsely announces an airdrop to celebrate Ripple's victory over the US SEC. The scam surfaced just hours after XRP reached an all-time high, fueled by increasing investor interest and the conclusion of the legal battle with the SEC. Ripple CTO David Schwartz has exposed the deepfake video circulating on social media. The video shows a digitally altered Garlinghouse thanking the XRP community and announcing the airdrop. Schwartz promptly alerted the public to the scam, confirming that Ripple has no involvement with any such giveaway. And there he wrote simply, obvious scam is obvious. And so I would hope that, and I do believe like the vast majority of humans are going to recognize that, but it's a small percentage of people that won't know it, especially if they're not technologically savvy. Maybe they're brand new to crypto. There are any number of reasons that a smart individual who wouldn't be gullible, isn't gullible actually, just in general, and wouldn't fall victim to scammers in other circumstances. If it's something like this where it's a world that they're not accustomed to and they're not familiar with crypto, yeah, under the right circumstances, and that might be such a circumstance, yes, you can fall victim. You got to be careful. And even those that have been around for years, you can still be tricked. I still believe that it's a possibility. Like, and again, I'm very careful with everything, but that's why, because I'm afraid that I could be tricked. I know I could. If I slip up and if I'm not vigilant enough, I'm concerned that they could get one by me if I'm not paying close enough attention. And I think it's a good thing that I react like that. It's not fun, but like I think that's the right way to react in general. And so then there's this Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse raises alarm over rising XRP scams. This is the brand new one. And here we see, according to an X post, Brad Garlinghouse has urged XRP investors to be vigilant as scamming spree sweeps across the ecosystem. The CEO noted that the latest scam involves the impersonation of the official Ripple accounts on video streaming platform YouTube. And here's his actual post. This is literally just from yesterday afternoon. He says, like clockwork, with success and market rallies, scammers ramp up their attacks on the crypto community. Please beware of the latest scam targeting the XRP family on YouTube and impersonating Ripple's official account. We will keep reporting these. Please do the same. As always, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So be careful. If you see anything, especially if it's one of these scams where it's like, send us X amount of XRP and we'll send you this amount back. That's stupid. Don't do that. It's not real. That's not a real thing. And again, for them, it can be a fraction of a percent of success that makes it worth doing this. And so it's a tiny percentage of people that are going to get tricked by this stuff, but it's devastating when it happens. And here's one such story. And this is just gut-wrenching. This is just awful. And it's infuriating. And so this is posted just 2 days ago. This is on Reddit. The headline, I lost 3,721 XRP to a phishing scam. Please learn from my mistake. Hey everyone. I've been a long-term XRP holder since 2019, and I've always believed in its long-term value, sharing it with friends and family like it was my mission. Sadly, I'm here today not with a win, but with a hard lesson I hope others can learn from. And I will pause here to state, at a time where this must still be emotionally just crushing to come on and still try and help others because he so severely doesn't want it to happen to others, that right there is highly respectable. So I appreciate it that he's doing this, which is why I thought I'd share his message on my channel to just push it out there even further, so hopefully it can have an even bigger impact so that this doesn't happen to anyone else. Anyway, so his name's Anthony, and he continues. He says, on July 20th, 2025, I was targeted by a phishing scam that impersonated Trezor. Hardware wallets, of course. I'm sure most of you are familiar. The email warned of a critical security update and coincidentally aligned with an actual firmware prompt for my Trezor device. Folks, see what I'm saying? Under the right circumstances, people that wouldn't necessarily fall for something, if everything lines up just so, you can fall for it. Let me give you an example. Like, for example, and this is an example from my real life. This happened. I didn't fall for this, but I could have. I was expecting a UPS package. This is years ago. And I got a message, I got a text alert stating that something had happened to it. It's been long enough, I can't remember, but I had to take some sort of action or else something bad was going to happen. I'm sorry, I can't remember the specifics. But if I hadn't been expecting a UPS package, I wouldn't have thought anything. I would have been like, what's this, another stupid scam thing, whatever. But I was expecting a UPS package, and it did come at just the right time, and I could have fallen for it. And luckily I didn't. So this is the thing. They're counting on just the right circumstances to come together where you are more likely to fall for it, even if you're not a gullible person. Like, you can fall for stuff. And that's what happened to him here. You just got to be super vigilant about this stuff. And so then he says, everything about it felt real. After doing the update and clicking the link, I was led to a fake dashboard and unknowingly gave away my recovery phrase. Now, folks, I've never used a Trezor device. I've used multiple Ledger hardware wallets, though. And just as a friendly reminder, let me tell you, you never, ever, ever will enter your seed phrase into the computer or a website or give it to a customer service staff or anything like that. Your 24-word seed phrase, the only time you ever input it is if you need to like do a recovery device. Like, say your device broke and you got a new one. This is an example of how it could go down anyway. Your device broke, but you've got your 24-word seed phrase. You get a new Ledger hardware wallet, for example. Then you have to put in the recovery phrase, but you put it into the device itself, not into the computer. It's air-gapped, so it's safe. You put it into the device. And of course, there's other things you should do as a precaution, especially if you get a new device. Even if it came from a reputable vendor, you're going to want to make sure that you do a factory reset there. And then Ledger Live, the software that they use, they can also do a security check. They do it to make sure it's a genuine product. And so there are things you can do to make sure that you're really not getting scammed. There's all sorts of precautions that you should take. And I've gone through a lot of this myself. But, you know, so all that to say, never put in your seed phrase into a website like was done here, unfortunately. And but it looked legit, and so like stuff can happen here. He says within minutes, 3,721 XRP, worth $13,000, was gone. It was my entire long-term position, something I was saving for retirement, not quick flips. I filed a report with the FBI Internet Crime Compliance Center, IC3, reached out to the XRP Ledger Foundation, and contacted multiple exchanges to flag the attacker's wallet. This has been emotionally and financially devastating, but I'm sharing my story to help others slow down, secure their assets, and not fall into the same trap. Don't act out of fear. So folks, like I was saying at the outset of this video, there will be a sense of urgency. You must act now. You're not going to be pressured like that from Coinbase or Kraken or anywhere else. You're not going to be pressured like that. If there's pressure, it's almost certainly a scam, and be highly skeptical. And this is what I was talking about. You know, John Deaton, he's been attacked by hackers. His X account has been hijacked also. And they've had some real advanced attacks on him. And he's talked about this at length, the fear approach that they take. In fact, and I haven't had this happen to me, but he had scammers calling. I can't remember who they were pretending to be now because it's been a year and a half or 2 years probably. But he had actual people calling up. They were pretending to be from Coinbase or something like that. But they were pretending to be customer support. And so like there will be some instances where scammers literally, if they have the appropriate information, they'll call you. So just please understand, they can take any number of approaches to try and steal from you. And so again, he says here, he's sharing a story, says that people won't fall in the same trap. He says, don't act out of fear. That moment of hesitation could literally save your entire portfolio. If you'd like to read more or support my efforts to rebuild, I've created a GoFundMe, Hacked and Drained, help longtime XRP holder recover loss. It says, whether you donate, share, or just tighten up your own crypto security after reading this, thank you. I hope no one else here ever has to post a story like this, but there seems to be so many. Stay safe out there, Anthony. And so nothing but empathy for this guy. And I just think it's really impressive that he went through what he went through, and he's sharing his story out here. With a genuine effort to prevent other people from having to go through something like that. Nothing but respect for a move like that. Because you know how devastating that is. Whatever the size of your position is, if that's your entire XRP stash, imagine that were just taken from you. It's just devastating. I mean, I don't even know what that happened to me. My God, I would be in shock and just emotionally destroyed. Because I mean, I've been holding mine since 2017, and I've done everything I can to safeguard and be very careful. And I put in very real money to make this happen, and I'm counting on it being life changing. And then if that's just taken from me, like that would be, imagine, like I'm putting myself in his shoes. Like, it would destroy me. And I'm sure it would be the same for pretty much everybody listening to this. So just, I'm glad I'm making this video. Just, if anything, just anytime you're doing anything with crypto, whether it's exchange or hardware wallet, whatever it may be cautious, be slow. If you're pressured, think about it. Assume that there's some sort of scam going on until you can prove otherwise. Just those types of simple approaches can go a long way. It really can. And never enter your private keys into a website. Never enter it into a fake, like there are fake versions of Ledger Live out there, you know. So it'll look like the real Ledger Live, as if you have like a Ledger hardware wallet, and then it tells you to input the 24-word seed phrase. And if you haven't done it, or if you maybe it's been years since you set it up, maybe you think, oh, this is normal. Oh, right, I guess maybe I did type it into the software. No, you don't. Don't type it into the software. These types of things happen, though. So anyway, I wish you all the best. Please don't become a victim. It can happen to anyone, though. I don't think I'm very vigilant, and I'm not a gullible person. I'm still terrified that something like this could happen to me. But the good news is, since I have that fear, it does make me go really slow and very deliberately when I'm doing anything with crypto, whether it's an exchange or with a hardware wallet or anything. So, you know, in that sense, it's useful to have that like, it might seem like too much fear, but it actually is useful in that way, because it makes it less likely like we're going to fall for something at least. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap up here. Please be safe out there, my fellow XRP community members. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.